This is exactly why you're not getting any sales with your AI agency. Okay, maybe you're selling a service right now to local businesses like me and you're not getting any sales. Here is exactly why. Okay, and let me break it down to you. It is because you suck. Okay, I also sucked in the beginning. It's completely normal to suck. Okay, I'll cover why I was not getting any sales calls booked, right? And even when I was getting sales calls booked, why I wasn't getting any closes on the calls. Okay, I'm gonna break down what you're doing wrong. And the one simple fix that took me from closing 0 clients in 30 days to closing 6 clients the next 30 days. Okay, so let me start down by breaking down my funnel. Okay, so my funnel was simple, right? Ad to landing page to sales call to close, right? Now, some people may be doing content, to a sales call, or some people doing ad like me to a sales call, right? It doesn't really matter because it's the same thing, right? It's the same problem, right? The problem is this: in your ad, or in my ad, I was selling the AI features, right? I was selling like how it sounds and how sexy it is and etc. Same thing on the landing page, right? When I got any clicks, like I barely got any clicks on my ads, and even when I got any clicks on my ads, they came to the landing page and all they saw was me just selling the AI features. Same thing on the sales call. I booked like how many? I don't remember. I booked like very few sales calls. Most of them were no-shows, but the one that showed up, I was selling the AI features, right? And because of that, I didn't get any closes. So what do I mean by selling AI features on the call, right? What I mean is, what I was doing, like on the call, on the ad, on the landing page, I was focused on the features of the AI, like how it sounds. You can use this sound. It has over 20 voices. You can clone your own voice. You can clone the voice of Rihanna. You can clone the voice of, anyone. It can integrate with this calendar or that calendar. I was focusing too much on the different features. For those of you who don't know, I sell AI receptionist, right? So an AI receptionist that picks up the phone and can schedule appointments. That is what I sell, right? So on these calls, I was just focusing on the different features, right? So here was, for example, one of my ads, right? Let me show you one of my ads. It was like this. The hook was, med spa owners, our AI has 11 powerful features that help you automate your lead pipeline, right? And then the body, again, was focused on the AI features. The new AI technology integrates with your CRM, sends automated SMS messages, has built-in email logic, supports calendar syncing, uses NLP to detect your lead intent. It also comes with smart routing. Like, that is what I was selling, right? And you have to understand something, and that is that no one gives a fuck about your AI. No one cares what your AI can do, 11 powerful features, right? And I was even tracking, on the ad, I was tracking hook rate, right? That's a custom metric you can set up inside of Facebook ads, right? You can see like how many people are sticking around the hook. And my hook rate was very low, right? Because I was saying med spa owners, our AI has 11 powerful features that help you automate your pipeline. AI, like med spa owners don't give a fuck about my AI or the 11 powerful features, right? What they do care about is the money you can make them. Okay, so once I was watching, like literally the first month I wasn't getting any sales. I was like, why am I not getting any sales? This and that, right? So I went online and I tried to study like marketing and sales. I came across a couple of Alex Hormozi videos, and I believe it was one of the Alex Hormozi video that, boom, clicked everything in my brain. And I believe it was him. I don't remember, but I believe it was him, right? And he said basically that, look, most people are doing wrong. They're focusing on the features. They're focusing on the features of their product. I think he talked about like Nike shoes or something. There was someone selling Nike shoes or some kind of shoes, and they were focusing on like how it like has this, foam under the shoes, and how it has this feature, like, the gel under the shoe, and it has this sole, and it has like, it's waterproof and shit like that. And they weren't able to sell, right? But as soon as they focused on the benefit of the shoe, like how it can directly help them. Can it solve their issue or not? Like, can it help them, should solve their like knee pain or not? Or whatever that was. Boom, as soon as they made that pivot, they started getting a lot more sales. It was something like that. Maybe someone correct me, maybe someone watched that video, right? But I understood, okay, what I'm doing wrong is I'm focusing on like the AI's feature itself. And that doesn't sell because the AI, like the business owners don't give a fuck about how it sounds, what it can do, and etc. Right? What they do focus on, or what they do want to hear, is how much more money can make them. Right? So that's what I started doing. I changed up all my copy, all of my landing page, all of the sales call script, everything, my presentation. I changed it from like the AI features to the specific money and time benefits it would get the business owner, right? So I started focusing on how much more money you can make them. I started comparing it against a real human VA. So I was like, literally, okay, so a real human VA, you would pay this amount of money, and not to mention they're going to be sick, complaining, issues, and they will book less calls for you because they're humans, right? They can be busy with other stuff, and you're paying them more. Then I compared it to, okay, if you have our AI system, like if you have our AI, then it can do, like, it can make you so much more money, save you so much more time, and reduce your cost by so much. Boom, right? I also start calling out their current problem, right? Which was like, you're losing leads because there is no one to follow up. That is a specific problem that they had, right? And I had to do research. I had to literally learn my avatar. I had to learn my market and find out what are their problems, right? Because you need to sell it to their problems. You can't just create anything out of the air and be like, yeah, I think this is gonna work, so I'm just gonna sell this. You need to give them what they want. And to know what they want, you need to research on them, right? So I literally did like a deep research on ChatGPT, for the people who know, like, you can do deep research. And it was like a 25-page long document that it created, right? So I started calling out their current problem, which was you're losing leads, right? Also, I started focusing on real results, right? I started showing proof. Proof is very, very important, right? Proof is important for someone to buy. Would you buy from someone who is offering you a solution for $2,000, but they have no proof? You can't see any clients they worked with. Or would you buy from someone who offers it to you for, like, let's say $4,000, double the price, but they have a lot of proof that it works? You would buy from someone with proof, right? So real results. You have to focus on showing testimonials and what it done for the other, clients of yours, etc. Right? Also, back up with studies. That's also proof. That's also, it makes your solution trustworthy, right? Back up with studies confirming that slow lead response kills conversion, right? So there's a study. Let me try and actually find it. Maybe I have it somewhere here. So there is a study that shows, there it is. There's a study that shows, let me move this over here. So this is the study that I often talk about, right? When I pitch my AI service to prospects, right? So Harvard Business Review did a study and found out that leads contacted within 1 minute are 21 times more likely to convert than those contacted after 30 minutes. After 5 minutes, conversion chances drop by 400%, right? Instead of me just shouting and saying, yeah, you're losing leads because you have a human, you're losing leads. That's just talk, right? There's no proof to back up that. But when I show this study, right, they literally sell themselves on the solution, and it makes selling easier, right? Because it's a study done by Harvard Business Review, right? And this is exactly how I do it. I'm like, leads contacted within 1 minute are 21 times more likely to convert than those contacted after 30 minutes. So tell me, Jason, when was the last time you actually contacted your leads or replied to your leads within a minute? They're like, that's true. I've never done that. And I'm like, exactly. There you have it. And boom. That's how they literally sell themselves on this. 90% of the selling is done because of proof, right? So that is very important. Now, let me see. Now, another thing is branding. Okay, this isn't that important, but definitely helped me. Branding, instead of just calling it an AI receptionist, right? So in the beginning, I was calling it AI receptionist, right? After some time, I started branding it, right? Because I understand that eventually everybody will start selling AI receptionists, right? The only way for me to stand out is to give it a name, right? Let me show you what I created. So instead of calling it an AI receptionist, I gave it a name. I was like, its name is Sophie, okay? Sophie is gonna book you more appointments. And then I created, like, literally I went on ChatGPT, I was like, create me a, picture of a Sophie, which is an AI appointment setter for my niche, right? And boom, you're instantly standing out from most people. because now it has a picture, it has a brand, right? It's more rememberable versus just calling it an AI receptionist, right? If Nike were selling shoes and they just call their shoes, they wouldn't be Nike today. They wouldn't make that much money but since they have a brand, they have something rememberable, right? Just do it. You know, their logo, their different shoes names like Air Max, Air Force, whatever, right? That is why they're rememberable. That is why people pay them more. Maybe there is better shoes out there than Nike, but Nike's doing their branding better, right? If you do your branding better, you will last long term. You will be able to sell easier, and your life will become, and of course you will make more money, right? So start branding your shit. I start branding my shit. Instead of calling it an AI receptionist, I started calling it Sophie, right? I started calling it Sophie, and I just gave it a picture like that. I was like, Sophie books your appointments for you. They're like, or your AI receptionist Sophie books your appointments for you, and boom, standing out, right? The last thing was adding urgency. Okay, so let me show you how it changed up, right? So this was my previous ad script. My first one was like med spa owners. This was the hook, right? Let's start by just comparing the hook. So the hook was med spa owners. Our AI has 11 powerful features that help automate your pipeline. Bro, I wasn't catching any attention, and it's pretty obvious why, because I was not focusing on what they want to hear, right? Once I went from that to med spa owners, AI now follows with your leads in seconds so you don't lose them. Boom. This is something that I want to hear, right? So I literally went from like 0 point something on hook rate all the way up to like 2 point, sorry, it was like, yeah, something like that. 7%, 0.7% to like 2.3% or something with the hook rate. So that just told me, okay, I'm hitting the right nerve, or I'm hitting the right thing, because this is what they want to hear, right? They don't want to hear about the AI. They want to hear about, okay, it follows up with your leads in seconds so you don't lose them. Okay, that's like a specific, clear benefit, right? And then the body was like, Harvard Business Review found out that if you wait more than 5 minutes to follow up, your chances of converting drop, like blah, 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 right? Basically the study, right? Most med spa take hours. Your front desk can't respond fast enough while juggling calls, walk-in, and admin. It's impossible. It's impossible. That gap costs clinics over 10K in lost revenue every month. You see how specific this is? I'm not talking about the AI and what it can do. I'm calling out their problem. I'm calling out their problem, telling them exactly what is happening. Most med spa take hours, and they're like, yeah, I relate. Your front desk can't respond fast enough while juggling calls, walk-in, and admin. It's impossible. They're like, yeah, I actually relate. And that gap costs clinics over 10K a month. Wow, it actually does, right? And then I'm like, okay, so that's the problem, right? And then we move over to the solution. That's why we built a better way. Meet your new AI employee, Sophie, a growth system built specifically for med spas, right? See, and then I'm not saying do not talk about what the AI does, okay? Don't focus on that. Yes, you should absolutely say what it does, but do not focus on that, right? So I've just quickly said her, like, she messages every leads the second they opt in, follows up multiple times, and handles objections and book them straight into your calendar before they go cold or book somewhere else. She's your perfect employee who never sleeps, never forgets, and always follows up instantly, right? So I'm not focusing on that it has like the feature of this voice or that voice, right? Yes, even though I'm focusing on features here, but I'm focusing on the features that they want to hear, right? That is easy to understand. I'm not saying like, yeah, it has like, you can set it up this way or that way. I'm saying like, okay, she messages, right? She messages every lead as soon as they opt in. And now they're like, wow, right? If I said like, for example, I don't know, whatever, right? You get the point. If I said like something specific, like feature, so like for example, whatever, right? I can't think of any right now. I said a lot of them. I don't want to repeat myself, but yeah. Okay, and then it's like one of our client went from 20 to 77 appointments in just 1 month, and that is actually true, right? Not by increasing ad spend, but by following up in 60 seconds, right? So that's even more proof, even more results. We install it in 2 to 5 days. You maintain, you don't lift a finger. We're only onboarding a few med spas this month. Click below to learn more and apply, right? Little urgency right there. So what this did is like after changing this, CTR went from 0.41% to 1.9, even up to 2.5 some days, right? Even up to 2.5 some days. And That was because we changed from features to clear, specific, and money like oriented, right? We focused on that instead, right? And went from 5 calls booked in 30 days, 3 no-shows, meaning only 2 showed up, and none of them were closed, right? Till when we changed that, it went from that to 18 calls booked in 30 days, 7 no-shows, and 6 of them closed, right? So 12 showed up and 6 were closed. That leaves us with a 50% close rate just by changing one simple thing. So if you're struggling to get sales or even get calls or even get clicks on your ads or on your content, it is because you're doing what I was doing wrong. You're selling the AI features and not selling how it can benefit them. Okay, you need to, when you're selling things, you need to really tap into the brain of the person you're selling to, right? You need to literally go inside of the brain of the business owner and you need to literally find out how their brain works, right? And when I did that, I found out that they don't give a fuck about the automations and the features. They care about money. How can this make me more money? They're busy, right? They don't have a time to sit there and hear about your features and how fancy it sounds, how you can clone voices. They want to hear, can this make me money or not? Business owners are in business to make money, right? If you're running this AI agency right now, you're in there to make money, right? You're not in there to, you don't care about the small nitty gritty stuff. You care about money, right? So you need to think like a business owner. You need to tap into their head and be like, okay, what do they want to hear, right? And there's a saying, give Susie what Susie wants for lunch, right? If Susie wants a salad for lunch, you don't give her a steak, right? If the business owner wants to make money and they're in business to make money, you don't pitch them on different different features your thing can do. You pitch them how it can make them money, right? Just like you give Susie salad if she wants salad. You don't give her a steak, right? So to sum it up, stop selling the features and start selling the result, because that is what is going to make you money. Start focusing on how it can make them money and not on the features itself, right? So here are a couple of tasks for you right now. If you want to get sales, if you want to increase your sales, your call to action, your CTR and etc., go through all of your website, your landing page, your ads, even if you're doing content, go through your Instagram, TikTok, whatever you're doing, go through the scripts and change everything from AI focused. So meaning change everything from the features of the AI to money focused. How we can make them more money. And I promise you, once you do that, you're going to start booking calls, you're going to start selling people, and you're going to start making money. That's what I did.